Yo. Do you guys think the title means content or content? Content, baby. Yeah, sorry I've been streaming a lot. I've wanted to stream like the last like 3 or 4 days, but we've just had testing every single day. This is the first time that we haven't. Although I could have like gone live later in the day. I don't know, I just always feel weird doing that. I always feel weird going live like hella hours late. JB said the raid was hard. I mean, yeah. I mean, for people who do casual raid testing, I think the fact that the first boss randomly had 10 dispels on it, like the first, that's like one of the only times where they test the first boss where it's obviously going to be significantly easier when it comes out. I think that's probably why. Don't worry, Max. We have had Throne of Thunder testing as well, and there are bosses that don't work 5 days before the release. That's my goat. My goat, Blizzard. Max, did you see you were on the Streamer Awards for like half a second chomping a cucumber? What? Really? They had me eating a cumber on the broadcast? Why? It was in the 2025 recap? Max, do you have any new players in your roster / players gone since the last race? Actually, one second real quick. Surprise going live. Holy shit. Surprise. It's me. What did you ask? Are there any new players since last race? Wall Life, Yargi, I think that's it. Actually, let me like double check. Anytime I do that, I think that's it, and it's wrong. Someone feels like left out. Y'all still got Drine? Yeah, Drine is my goat. Max, if it keeps going on, will you play in EU? No. Winning MDI gets you a liquid contract. I mean, Yargi's been on our radar. As far as I know, he just reached out like a couple weeks ago, and we were like, "Oh, that's good news." Max, how would you say the roster percent-wise is NAEU? I can actually find out right now. Yeah, guys, I haven't made a house yet. I could make one on stream today. That could be the move. I could also show you some liquid houses. All right, NA versus EU. What is this? Does the Sevi count as NA or EU? So Zevi, he does count as EU. I mean, we recruited him from Fat Shark, yes, but he lives in the States. He lives in the US. And did when he was playing in Fat Shark, yes, as well. I don't see Yargi on the Liquid Twitter saying he joined. Oh, was I not supposed to say that? Wait, hold on. No, I think it's like being so, okay. So like us tweeting it, I don't think is like a super official thing. I don't know why sometimes we do and sometimes we don't do that. But usually what happens is as soon as someone joins our Discord, I assume it's public because like you can just see the raider rank on Discord. I had a few people be like, "Oh, you recruited this guy the day we promoted him," so I assume it was public. It's just not like super public. It's probably public for the tapped in people, but there hasn't been like an official announcement for the more casual observers. Oh, he already said it on his stream. Oh, cool. Yeah, sweet. Okay, anyways, answering your question. Oh, we found out how the raid is releasing, guys. Remember we did all of these options about how it would come out of like because it was super ambiguous. And basically, I told you the only thing that's really bad is option 4, 3, or 4. This would have been like doomsday scenario. Week 3 is like all day, every day mythic splits to prepare for the 4th raid or the 4th week. But they announced that I believe it's this. Right? It's option 1. It was just option 1 all along. And this is an extremely normal race. Like this is just it's going to basically if you just pretend that the raids all come out at the same time, the raid would have operated just like that in like almost all situations. Which is good. So event should be normal, all that stuff. Anyways, answering your question, I keep getting sidetracked. How do I do this? Do I do a notepad? Okay. NA players in our guild. Yep. Smacked. Dryny. Boom. Nick. Atlas. Lip. Shaq. Exile. Trill. Goop. Sang. Anarchy. Malark. Fire Up. Hopeful. THD. Cinny. And I believe of all of our raiders, that is correct. That's NA. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So by default, we're still majority NA. Just looking at raider ranks. I mean, obviously, like, I don't play a character, but if you want to count me, but then you'd have to count all of our analysts, and I believe our analysts skew EU. Actually, I believe they're half and half as well, so can probably just ignore that. Okay, so 18 out of our 30 players are NA, but let's see EU. EU players. And if I can, I'll tell you what country they're from, but I might fuck some of them up. Oh, Zasevi counts as well. Zasevi's weird, though. Like, Zasevi came from a prominent EU guild. He used to live in Europe, but now he lives in NA and is in an NA guild. I think the fact that he's living in NA and plays in an NA guild is, like, NA. Right? Like, that's not his nationality. He's not American. Like, wasn't born and raised in America, but I think that's fair. I don't know. It could be both. Does NA hate EU players? Yeah, all of our NA players and all of our EU players do not get along. They fucking hate each other. All right, so EU. So let's get a few out of the way. So Scott, Shay, let's see. So we're gonna before we do EU, we have to do Commonwealth. And this is Scott, Shay, Walllife. I think technically some of the Canadians. But let's see. Any other Commonwealthers? Because if I say they're from EU, bro, Scott's gonna do some bit. Is Canada not NA? No, Canada is NA, bro. A lot of these people I listed up here are Canadian. I think Yips is Canadian. For sure Yips is Canadian. For sure Malarkus is Canadian. Shaq for sure. The most Quebecois person of all time. I think that's all actually. But yeah. Commonwealth, Scott, Shea, Walleye, and I think that's it for Commonwealth. And then EU. Gotta split those up. Wolf, Shine, Impact. Oh, KSP is also Commonwealth. By the way, if you've ever heard KSP talk, it's insane that I did not remember that until I read his name. Dranaco, Splat. Oh, Tobo also. Dude, we actually have a large Commonwealth population in the guild. Dude, we have as many people from the Commonwealth as we do EU. Think about it. That's crazy. I never even realize that. So Wolf, I believe, I hope I get none of these wrong because I think this is actually a big deal. Wolf is Swedish. Impec is Swedish. Dranaco is Swedish. I believe Splat is Danish. And I have no idea where Shine is from. So I'm just not even going to try to make it up. And then obviously all these people are from the UK. So I still think, like, I know we recruit Europeans a lot, but just majorly still an NA guild, right? Oh, wait, and Yargi. Isn't Zasevi EU too? You could count him as EU. I believe he was raised in Europe, but he's lived in NA for a while, and he plays in an NA guild. And that's weird. Like, where do you count someone? Like, for example, if a Shine moved to NA, would you still consider him EU because his nationality is from Europe, but he's just living in NA? And if that's true, okay, what if THD was born in Switzerland, but then he moved here when he was 1 and he's lived here his whole life? You would consider him NA, right? So, like, where it's kind of a blurred line, you know, like exactly how long you... What do their passports say? Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't know. Max, 07 Riku, or is he still playing? I know Riku is always bouncing between, like, having the time to do this. So, like, I think Riku didn't raid. Was it in the Gallywix tier he didn't play, and then he played last year? Something like that. Like, he works a regular job, and it's a good job, and he can't always get the time off for this. And I know especially he had, like... I think it's... I want to say he, like, does accounting work, so, like, during accounting season, he, like, kind of can't raid. So he's always, like, a little up in the air. Yargi is the GOAT. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. From all things considered, like, Yargi is one of those people where when you message people about him, like, that's what we did. Like, this guy was interested in joining, so we're, like, asking some people about him, and every single person that talked about him was like, yeah, that guy's fucking sick. And when you hear that from really good players, you want to hear that. When we asked our MDI team, like, I remember, like, Zevi hearing about it and Yips hearing about it, they were like, oh, yeah, that guy has DPS hacks. He just, like, does more damage than other people. It's like, okay, well, that... When you hear the best players in the world say that, usually someone's pretty special. Did you guys see like Fat Shark Yes's... I don't have their log, but Fat Shark Yes's kill of Dimensius? He had, like, the most nuclear RNG crazy pull of all time. on boss damage in P3. He was like 10% higher than the second person or something. When I didn't see Riku and Sepulcher, I was scared he got lobbed. Nah, Riku wouldn't have gotten lobbed. That's not a... He's a good enough player where if he is able to play, he plays, and if he's not, he like is busy or something, if that makes sense. Did Timbermaw get the axe with Dazer? Yeah, Dazer and Timbermaw are no longer in the guild. Yeah, Timber, I kind of feel bad about, and I'll tell you why. So when you're asking people to do the race, you're asking them to do something that's like the level that's required is a level that they may have never had to play at before. So typically when you see someone in their first raid, you want them to be doing what they do best to get them the best chance of doing this. Like no matter who a player is, if you want them to succeed at this level, in their first raid, they should definitely play their main and put them in situations to succeed. Don't ask a player to do something that's out of their comfort zone if you can. Because, you know, no matter how good you are at this game, it's very common when you get to this level that someone is good enough, could be good enough to raid in Liquid on exactly one spec, or maybe one class, or maybe multiple classes. But usually the multiple classes happens over time. It's very rare, actually. In fact, like basically doesn't happen where like someone could just do the race right away and then is also able to multi-class whatever you want. That's like completely absurd. Like that barely ever happens / doesn't really happen. What can be disguised as that is what will likely be the case is someone is like doing it, but they're doing it a little worse, right? So like Timber, I don't think mained Evoker, and Evoker was just really good, and that just happened to be what he played, and then he ended up basically not killing any boss in the raid, and then just having to come in on Dimensius, one of the hardest bosses of all time, on a non-main, on a healer, which healing is by far the hardest role. Like, for example, if you would have played this tier out differently, and he was our like 5th healer coming into the tier, but then we ended up using him on a class he's really familiar with, would he have done better? Certainly. Would that have been enough to cross the bar of like we wanted to keep him? I don't know, but I know that he didn't necessarily get the fairest shake, but I also, you know, obviously we saw enough to where we thought we would, I mean, clearly we decided to, we had like a change of heart with healing philosophy. We've tried to recruit healers for years. It's impossible. So what does our healer roster look like right now? It's people you know, Dryny, Nick, Zasevi, and then Smacked has been healing for a few tiers, and now Boomy is healing. So, like, 3 of those players are not healer mains. They are really good players that are healing because it's impossible to find healers. Obviously, they enjoy it to some level. But, like, we literally are just... We had a change of heart where we're like, okay, recruiting healers is this really fucked thing where, like, it's the hardest thing to recruit for. And maybe the biggest thing is, like, you're never really training to be in a position like this by healing in other guilds. Usually if you are standing out to be recruited, you're usually healing with some people who aren't very good. Player A, just as good as player B, but player A raids in a guild that's decent with 3 stinker healers or 2, and guy B raids in this like a very similar guild, but the other healers are just good. Player B looks a lot worse and is harder to recruit, you know, because like they just don't stick out as much. So, like, you have to learn how to, like, fit within a role of a good healing team, which requires making some sacrifices, and not all people are used to that. And then it's also just healing in end boss week 1 is just your play matters so much for the guild's consistent progression that your individual play is just, it has a magnifying glass on it, similar to a tank. And recruiting people, you kind of expect any healer, even one that's good enough to play in your guild, it's going to take them a tier or 2 to really be consistent because it's just so hard. So we're like, okay, we could recruit someone and find someone to do that. Or what does our DPS look like if Boomy isn't DPSing? Okay, we can move this guy here. We can do this. This guy gets more playing time. And if Boomy's open to it, maybe we have him do this. He's open to it. He's trying it. He's doing it in testing and committed to it. It's like, okay, well, we know he's going to do well. So like, Basically just like shifting a bunch of your focus into one area with your good players and trying to make it work. We'll see how that goes. It's gone really well for us recently. Smacked has been great for us. Zevi going healer has been great for us. Are we going to see any frauds without add-ons? It depends on the guild skill level. I've kind of gone back and forth with that. I don't think you're going to see at the high level, you're going to see any frauds. Because like there is this really interesting thing where we've basically asked these players that are playing at the highest level to not think about as much as they can during a raid fight, let add-ons handle it, and then you focus on just your personal play. And this is all in the effort of just playing as good as you can. And we care about winning, so this is the objective correct decision. Does it have some drawbacks that you're less aware of your surroundings sometimes because simply every time you're tasked with something difficult there, you require something else to do it for you, or most of the time? Yes. Now, at the same time, there are people in our guild who were really good at that and maybe overperformed because they were really good at not only using tech, but personalizing tech to actually help them, which a lot of people don't do. And then there are people in our guild who's played with basically default UI, 0 weak auras, no tech for years, and they've done fine. Now, every single one of those players would have done better had they just utilized that stuff. Every single one of them would have been, right? However, are those players going to initially overperform in this scenario? Maybe. But just in general, across all players in the game, using tech to your advantage is just solving a problem. The problem is I need to deal with this more consistently, or I need to play better. How do I do that? Okay, quickly solving problems. That's what makes anyone good at this game, right? So I believe those people who were really good at problem solving are going to just find a new way to solve the problem because that's why they did that in the first place. So that being said, I mean, guys, all I'm going to say, next tier, when the Race to World First is finally, like, we're in Mythic and it's being streamed, there's going to be just one of the most fire Reddit threads of all time. And it's going to be a clashing of the narratives that have been happening. So, like, you see some narratives every now and then, and it's like, yeah, you fucking pros are getting brought down to reality. You guys are... Yeah, welcome to the even playing field, buddy. You've got those people that are basically preying on the downfall of all players better than them because the reason they've been better than them in the past is because they're using all this cheesy bullshit that they think is going away. So you have those people, and they're going to be, like, ready to watch this shit. All those people over the years that have been like, Max, without weak auras, how many pulls does this boss take? Those kind of people. All right. Now, that alone is going to be a movie, and it already kind of is. But when those people see all of the things that you can still do in-game, it's just going to be a fucking movie. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, they're going to be watching a stream ready to fucking cheer on the downfall of all this stuff being away, and then they're going to see stuff on their screen that still largely resembles every add-on they've seen over the past 10 years, and they're just going to... I just don't know how it's going to go, but I can tell you it's going to be a fucking movie. It's going to be an absolute crazy fucking movie on Reddit when this raid happens. Max, do you think Resto Shaman will see any further changes? I mean, I hope they do. The main issue I see with Resto Shaman right now is that they're, like, completely immobile. Missing the best part of that message? Oh, the 3-year-old son thing? I mean, I screened it. I just didn't think it was that great. Max, do you guys have a split add-on ready to go? Here's the best thing I can describe about what we have prepared. I would say 70% of what you were able to do before in a raid, including things you would consider cybernetic enhancements, are still possible in some way without cheating. If you want to cheat, and I don't think anyone will do this at a high level, you could do a lot more, but just without doing anything that's cheating, you can do, like, let's say half of what you could do before. You're certainly limited, but the half of things are things that people think are gone, but they're still there, but they're like how they worked in 2007. So they're extremely shitty workaround things that just are much more visually distracting and look like shit. And I'm just telling you, man, when people actually look at this live on stream, I don't know what the reaction's going to be, but it's going to be fucking chaos. What the fuck is this? How am I not in Commonwealth? Bro, you're in Commonwealth is exclusive in this terms of this list was exclusively reserved for the UK. Even though I know I can put the Canadians in Commonwealth if you want. But you're also in NA. That's just a continent that you're in, you know? Yeah, and I did consider putting them there, yeah. I brought it up. All right, boys. So I haven't logged into WoW in a while. In fact, it's possible it's actually not even downloaded on the computer. I got this computer not too long ago. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I have to download Live World of Warcraft. Oh, no, I think I do have Live World of Warcraft installed, it appears. But I want to make a house, and I want to look at my guild's houses. So is there like a guild housing lot? Is that how that works? I know that was supposed to be the case, but I know they said they were like adding that later or something like that, like neighborhoods later. Maybe it was something else. I can't wait for Shaq to hit us with another quick suck. Yeah, he's really good at that. He does it the inside way. I don't really know how else to describe that. Private charter ones are later. Guild and publics are out now. All right, fuck it. Let's log in. My UI might be absolutely cooked, though. I haven't logged in. Okay, this looks cooked, but it's just because it's showing up on my wrong monitor. I can fix this. So options, graphics, and then I just need to make it this one, and then I'll restart it. It's because, bro, the reason it does that is for some reason it launches games on my portrait mode monitor, which isn't my main monitor. But yeah, okay. Anyways, it should look good now. All right, let's make a fucking house, baby. Nah, no remix. We're good. None of that. Yeah, load anyway, sure. Actually, I might need to update my add-ons, but let's go. Let's log on the Blizzard. Start the catch-up experience. Pick up where you left off. What? You definitely need to update. All right, let me get the WoW up Curse Forge login. I will log in. Give me that WoW up, baby. Brother, you need the expansion. You don't have Midnight installed? Oh, shit. Let me get that. Okay, do I get it now or do I wait for them to give it to me for free? They usually send creators like a custom, like, little crazy cool thing. Fuck it, I'm doing it. We need content, so we're buying it right fucking now. All right, upgrade. Upgrade available. Those got sent out already? Oh, I must have missed it. Okay, we're buying the Giga Edition. Have I really not bought this? Maybe I haven't. Dude, chat, we can lose this next race. That's chill. But we need to win the race that's right before next BlizzCon. That is of supreme importance. You can't... Dude, showing up to BlizzCon when you're the current race winner just goes so crazy. All I'm saying, I don't want to lose any race, but if we can lose any of them, it just can't be the one after this one. You know what I mean? Are you going to BlizzCon? I haven't bought a ticket yet, but I did sign up for a media pass, and I don't really check my email, so I don't know if how that's gonna work. But Usually what they want to do is they like... Wait, it says select a subscription. Wait, don't I already have one? Either way. Okay, return to your games. W, okay, it's full upgraded. We're good. What they'll do is if they usually want me to do like a little signing booth. Last time we had like I did a signing thing with a few other creators, and if they ever have you do that, they obviously pay for you to be there. So, try to not do that. All right, let's log on. What is the select experience bit? I don't. Dude, how long does it think I haven't played? What is it doing right now? Is this normal? Bro, it hasn't been that long, bro. Come on. Dude. I mean, yeah, basically all of my like WoW playing stuff recently has been replaced with Fellowship. Speaking of which, very excited for the new season of that game. I'm going to go so crazy on next Fellowship season. I'm thinking about playing a new class too. The only issue, I really like Mara, but I really like Mara, but only problem, small problem. Small problem with Mara is that you are doing something 3 times harder for the same damage. Like, the fact that Rhyme just absolutely owns and Alarian owns and they're just payphone as fuck makes it feel bad, kind of. But, why is an action bar down here? Oh, is that like a weird LV? Oh, yeah. I didn't update any of my add-ons. I said I was going to do this. Rescan. I mean, it wants me to find my WoW folder. I mean, bro, you can't find this on your own WoW up? My dude? My slime? This does not appear to be a valid World of Warcraft. Okay. Are you sure? So what are you supposed to actually like find? It says, isn't it just the folder? Or does it need a file? Retail, wow. Sure, open. Just the add-ons folder. Okay. It is fucking with me. Interface or the add-ons? I guess add-ons. No, it's looking for an exit. It's looking for a WoW executable. Isn't it wow.exe? That's what I'm trying to do that. Yeah, I mean, I did that. Ah, whatever. Add-ons don't matter. Fucking add-on. How do we do houses? Access your neighborhood from your capital city. Bet. Yeah, I did it where the folder where retail is in. It's just not doing anything. Wait, press H. H doesn't do anything, bro. Must have been rebound. I think I might go change my hoodie too. It's kind of hot in here. Burp.
Yo. Did he Hearth Undermine? Alright, what are we doing here? Is this what my stream is gonna be like, guys? Is this what we're doing? We're just flaming me. Wait, shouldn't I be getting to my whip? What's my whip button? I guess I don't have it anymore. That's hype. Call Dorky so we can teach you how to WoW again. I've like not played WoW for an extended period of time multiple times. You know the phrase like it's like riding a bike? It's actually so true, man. It is so true. It takes like I feel like it takes like a couple hours of like actually playing the game to feel like a human again. And then it takes like a week or two of playing to be, I think, like pretty close to where you were before. Max, I saw you bite the cumber during the Streamer Awards. Yeah, bro, I didn't get nominated this year. I haven't been nominated ever since I made... I'm not saying these two things are connected, but I haven't been nominated since I made Cutie kind of mad. I didn't, Dude, why can't I get on a flying mount? Hello? I like RSVP'd and then had to back out for a legitimate reason, and then she was not happy about it. She even talked about it on a podcast. I got called out. And then I have not been nominated ever since. But I also don't think I deserve it, so I don't really stream a lot. Makes sense. Okay. A house for you. Capital City. Org. Dude, like all my add-ons are fucking broken. Soda orchestrated OnlyFans too. Yeah, I feel like Soda winning is fair beans, right? You can also press H to teleport. Dude, I don't know if this is... Wait. Oh. W. Went the wrong place. I mean, no offense, but you're not an MMO streamer. Like, if there's a category for MMO game commentary... Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, I do play MMOs every now and then. But yeah, I don't stream. I haven't streamed as much in the past, like, 6 months to a year of stuff outside of it. The burnt peanut real winner. Dude, talk about a come up. Talk about a fucking come up. That guy's a fucking beast. I have barely watched this dude's content, and he is extremely funny. That the burnt peanut is a perfect example of oh, it's in the portal room. Got it. Sorry, I'm talking about the PTuber here. I've watched less than an hour of this dude's stream ever. But he is a prime example when we've talked about streamers in the past where it's like, okay, you got to be like right place, right time. You got to be lucky. You got to, wait, it's telling me to... Okay, let's figure out this housing thing first. It's a big-ass portal. Press H. Bro, I'm spamming H. Nothing's happening. Also, did my movement keys get rebound? Yeah. Huh. That's what it felt so weird. The middle one, bro. Razorwind Shores. W going. You turn with A and D? No, I never press A and D ever. I just strafe with Q and E. Anyways, about Peanut. That guy's a massive beast. I think a lot of streamers are like right place, right time. You have to like fill a certain niche. We talk about it in WoW all the time. Like you can basically make it as a WoW creator if you're ever... You got to be like the best of a certain class or spec or something that's popular enough, and then you stream all the time, and that's your like niche market. There's a reason people watch you, right? Because if you're trying to do everything, you're competing with everyone. But if you're trying to compete in any market, you can kind of pick that market if it happens to line up with what you like. And then there are people, the only other way to make it is to just be like extremely entertaining, right? And I believe those people could have started streaming at any point and they will be popular. Burnt Peanut, perfect example. I don't think he streamed for very long, but like people who say like, you know, you just like blow up on accident or whatever, dude, that guy could have done that bit in 2015. He could have done it 5 years from now. He could have done it 2 years ago. He would have succeeded. Like that guy is clearly the very highest percentile entertainer. He will always be successful. You could tell instantly upon watching him too.
Are you looking to join our This place has much to offer. Let's see.
Explore neighborhood, acquire house. Well, where's my guild? Where's my guild lot?
And if you can't find what you want,
Okay, I really need to figure out how to update my add-ons because not being able to open my mount thing is crazy. So like, I did the client. Does anyone know why it's not like edit? It says like auto update. Whatever. Oh, I see. I just need to go to my add-ons now. W. And just what update? Let's just hit update all. What's the worst thing that's ever happened from just updating everything? Fuck it, bro. Slamming it. Absolutely slamming it. And then hitting a reload live on stream. Let's see what happens. Who in the guild has the best house? We'll go through it once I figure out how to get there. All right, it's taking a second. It works. Okay, all my binds are back. Sweet. It keeps doing favorite. Can you not fly here? Is that the bit? That's why my favorite mount is just always selecting the ground mount. Right? Summon random favorite mount. Oh, you can fly. Oh, okay. It's just this no longer works. This week, or I'm assuming is just outdated. It's now just a charge system. That being in the middle of my screen is really annoying. Okay. Dude, I would say it's gonna be nice that like all this tech shit is gonna be gone, but it's really not. It's still there. It's just a lot harder to work with, and it's like a shitty poverty version of what we used to have. But man, yeah, it's gonna be insane. Max, any plans on Undercover Raid Leader this season? Undercover Raid Leader depends on a few things. Actually, there's really one main reason that makes that a thing. For Undercover Raid Leader to work, I have to be actively playing the game and really liking it. That's it. And that hasn't been the case in a while, so. I've gone over the reasons why in the past, but yeah. But that can always change. I mean, in Dragonflight, there was a season late in Dragonflight that I played all the time. It's like perfect storm of like what's going on in my life. Oh, camera freeze. That's a current thing that my computer is doing that's making me feel really great. Also, I have to unplug the USB and replug it back in. I feel like it's a power issue. Like my USB outlets are like losing power or something, and then it's a new computer problem. I'll figure it out at some point. It's about to be fixed. All right, we're back. Motherboard USB drivers under power settings. Check your USB sleep settings under power. All right, let's do it. Power, sleep, and battery settings. I don't even know where to find this. Is this like in device manager? Edit power plan. Oh, USB settings. The only thing that shows up under USB settings is USB selective suspend setting. But I Googled that at some point, and that's actually not what that is. Like USB this doesn't make them like be suspended or not. It just lets you as the using logic be able to choose which one is suspended, one versus all of them. Oh, should I have this shit on high performance, bro? Let's perform crazy. Wait, why isn't that enabled though? How do I do that shit? Oh, show additional plans. High performance. Did it. Alright, so now this should be active if I redo this. Yeah, it is active. Hey Max, we saw Relo already makes a lot of stuff work again at midnight. Do you still have someone for reminders and some weak or alternatives since Bart is gone? Oh yeah, we have spent a ton of time on that. We're in this weird thing of like, how much do you just do natty versus how much do you do when stuff is available to be done? We never want to cross the line over to cheating, right? Because like there's absolutely a world where you could do like some third-party cheating ass overlay shit, but I don't think any of the top teams are going to do that. But there's still a lot of stuff you can do in game, and like there's going to be an interesting duality between like, do we do this natty or do we still try to use this tech, but it's shitty fucking awful tech from 15 years ago, and it's like, is that actually better than doing it natty? And in some situations the answer will be yes, and in some scenarios it's going to be no. It's going to be kind of annoying to deal with. Okay, explore the neighborhood and acquire a house. So this is the neighborhood. Have some people already picked their homes? So this one is called the Commonwealth, owned by Boomy. This is the Commonwealth, owned by Jiminy Bellini. This is Atlas's. Atlas and Lip have a little house over here. This is Yuri's house. Valanter's house, Hopeful, KTB, Dryny. All right, we could check some houses out. What the fuck is this? Is this somebody's house, bro? This is Dryny's house. How do you get in? Wait, I can click the front door and go in. Knock? Alright, I'm knocking, bro. Okay. Is this like default house, or did Dryny do this? He did it. That's him cooking. Bro, he hasn't cooked shit. All right. That shit's raw. Yeah, exactly.
This place has much to offer. Let's see what we can find for you. And if you can't find what you want,
Why does my favorite mount keep auto-selecting 100 times out of 100 here? It's just making me do this mount. Is this some kind of bug? Summon random favorite mount. Okay, it is a bug. I'm pressing it and it's only doing this mount, but whenever I click this... Like, look at my top right thing on my action bars. Right here. When I'm pressing the keybind and you can see it light up, it's just picking this every single time. But then when I click it, it will summon any of my random favorite mounts. Maybe just, yeah, re-drag the key on there. Nope. It's like, it's the keybind. Try to unbind and rebind. Oh. Wait, but why was it lighting up? Well, I'm confused. All good, though.
All good. Okay, so Driney's house is there. I don't know whose Sate it is. We got to pick a good lot. I could pick a house over by Lip and Atlas. Also, I'm assuming we have an Alliance neighborhood, too. Is that how this would work? Like, if any players in our guild are Alliance, they'll be in the Alliance neighborhood of our guild. So we'll check that out as well. We just have this one? Oh, okay. Fuck it. So Commonwealth by... This is Ashmead's house. Let's go check out some people down here. Let's go check out KTB, Ventor, Tags, and Hopeful. Actually, let's just go to Hopeful's house. KTB, no, we'll go to Hopeful's. Hopeful has one like down here on his own. Dude, Hopeful has a sick spot. What the fuck? Dude, Hopeful's right next to like a fucking... This looks insane. Okay. W. This looks pretty cool. What do we got out here? A little table. A well, bro. You would never be able to get well water. He's got a chessboard. All right, check the inside. Yo, they should let us put a target dummy in our house. Is that a thing? Can you do that? Okay, there's just a This is like you guys remember the Race to World First documentary back in like 2012 where they had the JB bathroom closet shot? Bro, this is the JB fucking gaming area back here. Bro, how far back does this go? Why? Why? What's at the end, bro? What's at the end? I need to know. No, I'm not going to keep going because I want to get out at some point. Dude, he's so dumb, man. Oh, I should have transcended. There's a button on the top to port out. Where? Exit button at the top. Oh, like this. Okay. Yeah, I see. Exit house.
This place has much to offer.
Okay, let's check. Apparently, Atlas and Lip are neighbors up on the hill.
What you want, or you have any questions, be sure to speak up.
Okay. This is whose house here? This is at Lip's house. Lip's got a nice little quaint home. Look, he's got stairs. Wait, does it... It just keeps going. Okay. Wow, you can actually go really vertical. They all look basically the same right now. None of the skins are available. Yeah, but I want to... Basically, I'd love to see a bunch of, like, viewers who have done, like, really creative things with their houses. Oh, Atlas has gone crazy on it. Atlas is cooking.
Good vibrations today.
Come to your house, it's goated. So was this worth the thing? I guess they used to say we would have to sacrifice a raid tier. That's not... Whoa! That was sick. What's in here? Nothing. W. Absolutely nothing is in here. But that was cool. I was not expecting that. Jump puzzle, maybe? Oh, I'm thinking jump puzzle. This is jump puzzle. Wait a second. Can you do that? Oh, yeah. Wait. I love jump puzzle houses, bro. No! No! It's fine, I'm cheating. 1 second. Wait, that got rebound. Pressing it? Is the log not playable? Max is a dwarf from Earth and I eat rocks, kid. I mean, yeah, this is my favorite part of WildStar houses. Okay, there we go. Actually, where do you go from here? Maybe you actually are intended to go up that side, because I don't think you can make... You definitely can't make that jump. You might be able to go on the ledge there. You might be able to go ledge here. Oh, oops. It feels like you have to make it over this way, actually. It's like you have to make this jump. Oh, wow. Okay, fuck Atlas's house. This place is stupid. WildStar mentioned. Bro, I would go crazy on WildStar Classic. Unfortunately, if they came out with WildStar, it'd have the same issue with WoW Classic, where, like, the raid content was really good back then, but, like, it's been 12 years, so that shit's probably just, like, super easy now and would get one shot, but... Okay, so they're cool over here, and then Yuri's house. Yuri's got kind of a banger. Got a lot going on there. Okay, so you guys said we can look for our house now. Actually, wait. I bet Shaq's house is a fucking movie. It's either going to be the least effort possible or it's going to be fucking psychotic. Looks like the least effort option, unless it's just the inside. Guys, Shindig messaged me and he said, "Yo, Max, what do I got to do to join Liquid?" Fucking called it, bro. I told you he was on that fucking... He was on the journey. Wait, is my mouse profile on the wrong one?
This place has much to offer. Let's see what we can find, and if you can't find what...
Oh, you guys said lot 27 and 30 are goated?
Be sure to speak up.
Is there like a... Where do you see them numbered? Go to THD's shack. If he joins, he'll never get played over Exile. Well, like, that's the thing. Like, there's an issue with playing in the Race World first. Like, you kind of have to get good enough to do this, you usually have to focus on one very specific thing, and his is, like, Rogue, right? But you're never going to be able to become better than Exile. Do you know what I mean? Like, Exile's as good as you can be at Rogue, plus he also has Race World first experience. So you can't... Even if you could become slightly better, you can't overcome the experience without doing it, right? So then it's like, how do you get recruited? Realistically, there just needs to be an opening and a spot. And you just have to... part of it's luck too, right? You could be like the fucking best Moonkin ever or something, but then like guilds will just have 2 Moonkins for 5 years and they're also sick and have experience and you just never get your shot. So it's like a little RNG too. Realistically, you wait for those people to like step down or lose their passion or something, which does happen. Anyways, you said when you hover, you see... I don't see... I'm hovering, I don't see like any numbers or something. Maybe it's an add-on thing. Is there like a you don't have a tooltip right now? Oh, maybe it's an LVI gap. Well, why don't I have a tooltip? Oh, I do have a tooltip. Mine's just broke. You're in the tutorial. Oh, you need to complete the intro quest line. Well, it says explore the neighborhood optional, but then it says acquire a house.
The soil here is rich. And the waters are pure.
Open the house finder. Well, H doesn't work for me, so... You can swap freely. Talk to the dude that follows you. Okay. My goat. Come here. Land, my dude. Okay.
We build community here.
Shift H? Nah, it doesn't do anything either. Why not just, like, look and pick one you like? Buddy. Buddy. You get H after you... So, wait, can I just pick a random house and then I can just change it? Okay, fuck it. Buying it. Oh, this is plot 41, so you can see the plot thing here. I'm just going to buy it. Okay, no cinematic. Cool, welcome home. All right.
Can't wait to see what you make of it.
Complete quest. Cool. So now when I do this and hover it, it'll... Nope. H should work now, I think. H does not work. Possible I've rebounded, though. Possible rebinding angle at the moment. Interface panel. Toggle. Where is it here? I'm trying to see housing thing. Housing dashboard near the top. Housing dashboard, not bound. Binding it to H. Cool. Teleport to plot. No, okay, yeah. Decor catalog. Open house finder. Okay, and this is where you see it. Ah, I see. Okay. You guys said 27 and 30 are BIS. Let's go look at that. I do not see either of those. Have they been taken? I believe they're gone, right? WoW Audit has a plot map. Okay. WoW Audit. Housing. General Neighborhood Layer 1 Alliance. No. Horde. All right, 27 and 30 are apparently goated. So they're like... Oh, there it is. Oh, it's owned by KSP. And NNK has 30? Okay, bro. This isn't RedSec. I sleep. I'll game in a little bit. G-kick and then yoink. Ooh, is that an angle? I mean, this plot I feel like is like kind of whatever. I guess it's like up top, but... Yeah, I feel like these houses up here are pretty cool, plus the houses over here. I mean, these ones are like super whatever. Oh, his house is up? What do you mean sky house? Oh. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Need a house by the water. Nothing else is acceptable. Yeah, we can check this down here. I mean, this one's got a little going on. Nice little... Oh, wait. I'm definitely feeling an Oasis type lot. Max, are you a big Battlefield guy or just this latest release? I heard you got owned by my house. Bro, I tried it for like 2 seconds. 48 is BIS. $48. Okay. That's like somewhere over here, right? That's right here, I think. Oh, this one is kind of nice. It's got a nice little spot. 46 is your favorite. Okay, we'll think about that. Where's that? Oh, way up there. It is currently unoccupied. Oh, it is right next to the waterfalls. Okay. What else is next to these? This? Oh, that's not as good. 100% checkout 39. I think someone already has it, but yeah. Here it is. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sick. 2 has a sick waterfall as well. I think someone has 2. Yeah, it's Boomy Gap. They might take this one for now. And then we'll just upgrade if we like more. Move house here, bro. Plot 19 is a private island. Oh, yeah. KTB has that. I mean, there aren't even really that many lots here. There's like, what, 50? 50, a little bit more than 50 lots. There's a... I mean, I guess there's room for... Dude, it kind of... Seeing people who are no longer raiding in the guild come in and take prime lots is tough. Or people who have never raided here at all and are just guild friends. They might get force moved. On some landlord shit, you know? Anyways, where's my house? Let's start cooking. How do we cook? Edit house. So this is just the exterior? Oh, we have some of these things in our storage. Oh, a little tree. Can you make these things, like, actually fucking massive, too? I remember in the edit mode, you can, like... Advanced mode is not available while you're still in the tutorial. I'm in the tutorial? Okay, I gotta go in my house, I think. Decor, let's skip. We probably shouldn't skip, but... We've done it. We've done it now. Dude, why do I have a fucking fountain? Wait, I want a bunch of foliage. We definitely want foliage. Where's foliage? Alright, these are all going outside. Change the floor plan first. Oh shit, you're right. You're right. Well, actually, when we go back in, we'll do that. For now, we got to put all of our large structures outside and make them fucking huge. Everything we own, we got to make use of it. It's called value, boys. I'll give you a little lesson in value. If you have it, you use it. All right, now we need to edit these things. So edit house. Advanced mode. Rotate, scale. Yes. Yes, bro. Make everything as big as possible. We need an HOA. No. Okay, so far this is looking good. We're off to a good start. Wait, can I put this shit in the air too? Oh, wait, first, air house. Move up. There's got to be an up arrow, bro. It's there, but it just doesn't show. Just hit page up. Nah, it doesn't work. Ooh, I'm liking this, though. We got stuff happening. There's some fucking doors out here. Walls. We got all kinds of barriers. Let's just get it all down, and then we can move it. Very good. I need to make it go up now. We gotta make a little jumpy thing. Ah, yes. But you said that the up arrow for the house exists, is just invisible? Ah, there we go. This is sick. How do I order new house stuff? Do I have to get it crafted? I'm out of stuff. I need more stuff. You have to go collect it. Ooh. I think this is looking good. Additional options coming soon. All right. We like it. Click the balls to add more huge stuff. Nothing there, bro. I think you need to update your monk week aura. Oh yeah, this thing is ancient. I'm sure it just doesn't even work at all, probably. Oh, it's kind of working. Oh, balls on the house. Okay. Edit house. Wait, what? Customize mode. Bottom right, last icon. Bottom bar, last button. Edit house exterior. Oh, the balls. Attach fixture. Oh, yo! Wait, this is actually really cool. Oh, yo! Yo! Dude, this looks fucking crazy. Oh, spoked chimney. Spoked chimney goes crazy. These are all locked? Dude. Okay. There we go. Dude, I am so fucking protected, by the way. How do you get into this? You can't. I'm set. Fucking house, bro. House. House. All right, now I need to flip it upside down. I mean, what did you expect from someone whose transmog is this, bro? This is not an accident. Okay, there were some patch notes I kind of wanted to look at last week. They made some interesting healer notes. Did you guys pay attention to testing? Healers, like, they basically gutted, like, all burst healing in the game. Your health goes down real slow style, and you have to heal it real slow style on the way back up. I really wonder how healers are going to like that. We're planning on a potty episode soon with some healers. Actually, wait, can we do that? I might be doing that right after the stream, actually. But Yeah, I'm interested to see if healers like it or don't like it, because like, if you're a raid healer, there's been this calling to reduce burst damage and burst healing and make it the power back in your base kit again. There's that calling, right? But then there are people, like last raid testing was very much like that. Like burst healing wasn't really a thing. It was all the healers had their healing spread out. And some people are tweeting like they love it. And then I asked some of our healers, it's like half and half. Some are like, it kind of feels like shit. Your buttons don't actually do anything. Like you don't feel powerful. So like I'm interested in the healing community at large, like what you actually prefer. Because I feel like there's benefits to both. It's also probably a dungeon versus raid thing as well. Beta damage was insanely big, though, and healing, therefore, was equally big. At least for raid testing. Yeah, but, like, there's a difference between needing a lot of healing. Like, the amount of healing needed is less the issue. It's more how the healing is distributed, or how the damage and healing is distributed. Is it, like, slow up, slow down? Because it can do a ton of, you can basically do a ton of healing, but it's just really spread, and there's like burst, right? Slower gameplay means you can actually take a bit of time to think rather than having to react insanely fast in order to save someone. I think that's a small part of it. I think more of it is like, because like realistically, you're just saying like, oh, I want it to be easier. Like having less time to react is like an easier hard thing, but like the thing is when it's like really slow is you can make a bad decision, but you have the ability to recover from it. Like basically instead of the raid being dead, the raid is like 20% lower, but that might be a problem that you have to slowly solve over the next 30 seconds because it takes a long time to get topped, right? Both of those are hard in different ways. It's more just about like how they want that challenge presented to you. I'd rather difficulty be over a longer time span and more methodical. Yeah. I mean, it's like the raid fight thing, right? Like, there's two different mechanics. They can be equally difficult, I guess. Actually, is that really true? Like, if a punish for a raid mechanic is your raid instantly wipes, versus a punish for a raid mechanic is that something bad happens that you can now outplay and have to deal with. Like the one where you just instantly wipe is just a harder mechanic because the punishment is more severe. That's just a difficulty thing. But difficulty doesn't necessarily mean fun, right? Like basically the exact right difficulty for your guild is one where like it's possible and you learn over time and it's like gradual learning and it doesn't feel like it's very jagged progression where you have like a bunch of P1 wipes. Like ideally you'd like to keep wiping lower and lower and lower. But, you know, for certain people, those mechanics would be too easy. So there's a reason the later the bosses go in the raid, the more one-shotty stuff exists because they have to make it harder, right? Yeah, but on testing, fights were not adapted to how dog healing is. Wait, really? So we can actually do like a little Mythic raid testing review, I guess, but I feel like all the fights were fine to heal. I think. Like I don't think there was like a fight where we were like, holy fuck, this is impossible to heal. It seemed like they were all pretty normal. You needed 6 to 8. Are you talking heroic raid testing or are you talking mythic? Because that's just not true. You know what I mean? That's just not accurate. I think it's probably, I don't know who you were watching test or whatever, but I imagine they were like probably just not as prepared or something. Like you, I mean, obviously guild skill levels range. And a lot of time in testing, what you might have seen a guild do is like, okay, killing a boss in testing is irrelevant, right? All you care about is seeing farther and getting more information. So some guilds might have been like, okay, what's keeping us from going further is that we're dying. The only thing that matters is maybe the boss HP, or maybe it's something else, but whatever that other damage check is, we could do with less DPS. Let's add some healers. You might have seen some people run 6 to 8 healers to be safe and like just to see farther, but that wasn't like needed for the content. Like you could have 4 healed every boss that you saw this week. A lot of times we don't like super overheal in testing because we also want our healers to feel alive. It's like their chance to like kind of feel what healing feels like going into a new expansion, right? And if you just overheal everything, it's just not realistic. It's a balance. What's the feedback from the healers? Well, I think you're going to get mixed feedback, right? Like, healers are not all set on certain things. Like, even within the healer content creator space, the, like, healers having an interrupt thing, someone would tell you, like, yeah, it's probably fine. I don't really want to have to think about that in dungeons. Like, and it's not a skill thing. Like, I think it's literally Zalia's take, right? Like, considered one of the goats of the game. And he's just like, healers having kicks are stupid. And then Ellesmere, I'm assuming, don't know this, but I imagine Ellesmere's like, my fucking agency's being taken away. And I don't know what Jack thinks or the like normal healer players think. And then it's like, okay, do healers do damage in dungeons? And you talk to most content creators, they're like, yeah, I like a way to challenge myself after keeping the group alive. And then most healers are like, I don't ever want to think about doing damage ever. I just want to heal. I'm a healer, right? And then so like it's not like you're ever going to get a consensus opinion from healers, really. It's more like it seems like a lot of that stuff is really polarizing. Max, are you watching the Throne of Thunder race next week? If I'm around, hell yeah. I mean, that's one of my favorite. I mean, Throne of Thunder is usually my #1 raid of all time. But, you know, that was like for its time, you know? Like there has been many better raids since Throne of Thunder because like raid bosses and raids have gotten a lot better over time. But I don't know, Throne of Thunder was just like, also like realistically when you talk about people's like favorite raids or favorite expansions, there's usually a sweet spot that I've found. My theory is that most people's favorite is not usually the first expansion they play. It's usually like the second or the third, but at least when I talk to people in my guild about it, whenever they talk about their favorite raids or favorite expansions, it's usually like the second expansion they play, and it's when they're still just completely obsessed with the game, and it's the first time they've gotten really good at it to where you can like really appreciate the game for what it is. And it usually takes a while to get good at WoW. So like the people who get good at the very highest level, like it usually is like their like second expansion or like maybe first expansion of playing like extremely hardcore. And those are usually like when you ask someone their favorite time to play, they will always reference that. They will reference that specific time frame. So I'm trying to schedule a podcast right now. Like, for example, I started playing, like, my favorite expansion was Mop. But for me, I started really trying at, like, the end of Cataclysm, and Mop was when I got really, really good. And I think, like, when you get really good, you usually just, like, have a better time in the game because you are, like, you know, processing information quickly, and it's, like, it's just so addictive. And then I think over time that just kind of fades naturally because it's less new. But that's like the time when you're having the most fun in the game. That's my theory. It's like basically if you were to poll a bunch of players that play this game at a really high level that are actually really good, like a bunch of people in top guilds or like top mythic plusers or whatever, they would, if you were to ask them their favorite time to play, it would just be, my guess is that it would line up with second expansion that they played and then whenever they got good at the game for the first time. Yeah, entered the flow state. Yo, y'all fuck with granola bars? I feel like I didn't eat granola bars for like a few years as just like a regular snack, but I've done it again recently, and it kind of goes hard. This isn't a paid ad or anything, but like those like made good bars or whatever, those go stupid. They're like exactly what I want nutrition wise, and they taste fucking great. Just a goated snack. Max, have you looked at the midnight changes at all and have any thoughts on them? Oh yeah, I have plenty of thoughts. Yeah. Actually, I do want to look at the most recent like post that they did though, because I know they had some like pretty interesting things in there. Dude, I feel like so many things have changed. It's hard to like keep track of all of it. So not War Within hotfixes. It would be the midnight test beta development notes. That's it. But then there's like some side stuff with this too. It was like they gave some separate posts about different things. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. We'll look at this first. You have to scroll crazy down, right? So I believe one major change from last week was they made Mage, what was it? Something about developer notes like, we've heard you. We maybe went a little too far. Well, actually, let's just double check that. I think they added some stuff back to make Fire less brain dead. But I'm unsure of what they did to the other specs. Meteor's still underperforming, so we're giving it a bump in damage. Update to overflowing energy and Fireball's cast tie and reduction are intended to help Fireball more consistently and frequently generate hot streaks. And we're also reintroducing Scorch and Heat Shimmer with a focus on adding some more procs and gameplay in between your combustion windows. Okay, so they acknowledge that it's just a 10 years ago outdated spec outside of your CDs. So they're adding some stuff that's good. What do they do with Frost? Because I know Frost is the spec that's just like completely brand new, and Arcane too, right? Like, didn't Arcane? Not too many changes to Arcane. Max Hopeful tried the changes and was really happy with them. Yeah, dude, Fired Up wasn't at Mythic Raid testing this week. I think for maybe the first time ever. I think he's like he posted out for like 17 days or some shit like that. He's doing some vacation ass shit, I think. So, crazy balanced druid. What's the balanced druid Moonkins? What's the vibe right now? Because I know they made, like, your class was the one that had a bunch of polarizing changes, right? Like, they made it so eclipses are no longer based on what they used to be based on. And I know people were saying they thought it was gonna be bad. Is it good or bad? Wait, any Resto Shaman changes? No, I don't think so. They're still complaining about it in testing. How do you guys feel? Has anyone done raid testing on the new ranged Havoc spec? What's the vibe? W changes, best iteration it's been in years for Moonkin. Oh, shit. One thing that I think is kind of interesting is Disc Priest in Raid now has to choose between like Power Word Barrier or their like main cooldown. And I think that's going to be, I think at a high level, really interesting on where you choose to use either. And I think at a lower level, you're just literally never going to play Barrier, is the reality. Oh, yeah, I heard Shadow Priest is in a really good spot, too. New DH spec needs another button. Spamming Consume gets old real fast. That's how I felt on a target dummy, but I was told it has like a bit more nuance as you keep playing it. It's so interesting, man. There's like it feels like there's no more ramp classes in this game. Like, Disc just has a lot more atonements out all the time, but it's less bursty. It's like, there doesn't really feel like there's a cooldown in the game that's just going to, like, solo raid healing for a certain amount of time. Like, I know they made a post about that, but I feel like they really accomplished it. Like, they even nerfed Rewind, but I still feel like Rewind is, like, crazy broken for that. Like, Rewind being 33% instead of 50, but it's on a 2-minute CD is... I mean, that's... I feel like that's going to be utilized so much. No more Zasevi clips healing the whole raid through a heal absorb. Dude, that was a Nick clip. Does anyone remember that Nick Sylvanas clip? Dude, I hope someone still has that. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Do you guys remember on Sylvanas, like, those little... you, like... had to spread out and not get hit by too many of the like absorb things, or you're not supposed to get hit at all. Dude, our entire raid got hit with a 3-stack. That was crazy. And a disc, a Kyrian disc healed through all of it on Mythic. It's completely insane. Dude, I am ready for them to cook again, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think the game needed Dragonflight to kind of reset from the whole borrowed power thing. But I hope Midnight cooks more with that, honestly. Because, like, it feels like in a lot of ways, the War Within was just like Dragonflight 2. In terms of, like, the direction of game design. Now, obviously, in Midnight, they're doing the, like, pruning thing and add-on thing or whatever. I just mean, like... I'm ready for, like, some... this is kind of controversial, but like maybe a little bit of a grind, just a little baby grind, something like that. I don't know exactly what level, but like it just feels like they need some sauce. Housing decor is your grind. Decor collection is the new grind. Oh, actually true. It's probably right away they won't do anything like that. They didn't really touch Ret at all. Well, they made Ret no longer play the, like, your auto attacks or automatically Crusader striking thing, but that's probably something they had to do with the UI. Like, that was something without weak auras that was just a really huge pain. Is that what you guys have been doing all week? Have you guys been going crazy for the housing stuff? Is it a long road of collecting? Where did I see that note about healers? Wasn't there like a healer blue post? Should be at the top of the latest changes. Oh, like in here? Oh, here we go. In this Midnight update, we're making several tuning changes across all healer specs. We've been looking at data from all forms of content and noted that healing burst and incidental healing has crept back up to a place that is higher than we'd like it to be. We have made changes to every healer spec to adjust the output of many of their spells. Many sources of burst healing or incidental uncontrolled healing have been reduced. We have also increased the value of several spammable healing spells. We're closely monitoring the situation. Now, my only concern with this is it, just from beta, like, this definitely worked. Like, burst healing, the way that you were taking damage and your health bars, like, you know what you saw in testing? Your health bars kind of, over a 10-second period, went from, like, 100 to 50 to 60 to 70, back to 50, up to 80. Do you know what I'm saying? That, I haven't seen that in years. I haven't seen that in a very long time, because like what it's looked like for so long was either you're topped or you're not. And if you're not, you're going to get topped fucking instantly because there's just infinite healing in the game, right? Like it really, really worked, but not even talking about whether healers prefer or don't prefer that. I know some raid focused healers do. I know that we have players in our guild that don't prefer it. They like feeling powerful. They like their buttons feeling like you're crazy owning, right? And then I just think is it going to stay that way? Because remember at the beginning of the War Within, they did some stuff like that. Remember they like adjusted healer burst in the middle of the War Within, and then just like as the expansion went on, it just kind of power crept its way back. I wonder if they can get it to a place where that doesn't happen. You know? People will play worse if they're always scared. Oh yeah. I mean, I've given the example before, but during our Skarn progression, it will be permanently branded in my brain forever how much better even the best players in the world play when they're at 100% versus 50. It's fucking crazy. Like I don't want to like go into the whole thing, but basically we did 3 hours of 3 heal progression, and then we went back to 4 heal, and our damage went up. We literally lost a DPS, and our damage, not only did our survivability increase, but literally our actual raid DPS increased from adding a healer. And it was purely due to feeling more comfortable on Skarn, which is fucking insane. That I will never look at like optimization differently. Also, there's been other bosses like that too, right? Where like I think Ansurek was one where it's like, okay, we see the end of the fight, how much more damage can we do? And just seeing how much more damage you can squeeze out from just being more comfortable is insane. Do healers not go harder when people are low? Yeah, they fucking freak out. The only thing that will get a healer to lock in more than when your raid is low is by a tank saying, I'm dead here. You rip that. If you ever rip that, a healer's eyes just glow red, and they will do literally anything in the world to keep you from dying. It's like an insult to them. They're like, the fuck you just say? Fucking fuck you. I'm healing you. That's like no one has ever locked in more than a healer after hearing that. Hopefully lower HP bars should cause Blizzard to rethink Resto Shaman Mastery. I mean, in terms of like it's too good. Like Resto Shaman Mastery in a world where the raid is not topped as often is so fucking broken, by the way. It's so good. But it's like weird to want to put your points into something that gets good or bad based on the tuning of healing in the game. I think your comp next tier is going to be like super interesting. I think this is like the biggest change going into an expansion. Besides, actually, I mean, Dragonflight with the talent trees was probably similar, where it was just like so much is changing at one time. But it almost feels Dragonflight-esque. Like as much as things as Dragonflight added with talent trees, it feels like as many of that is getting taken away right now. Not even to mention the add-on thing. I think the add-on thing is going to have a pretty minimal impact, at least at high-level play. We tried solo healing one side Dimensius P1 last week, and 10 players were unnecessarily sweating their asses off. Wait, Teach, do you fucking found the clip? Okay, I don't even know if you guys are going to... This boss is so long ago that I don't even think you're going to be able to recognize... Holy shit, what am I looking at right now? That's me. That was in my... No, I wasn't living in Dallas at the time. This was my first LA apartment in Koreatown. I think. Yeah. Different. Yeah, long time ago. Anyways. Alright, so do you guys remember the Sylvanas thing where it goes away for Veil? Alright, you're supposed to be... Okay, we usually gate after all 3 of them spawned, but one player gated out early and put one where we gated, and the entire raid got this healing absorbed. This is like... This is like a fucking red alert, bro. This was... We are wiping every single time. Wild pause face. Oh, yeah. That's me. Yeah, I'll let you hear the comms in a second. But, like, this should be just a wipe, because there's a bunch of raid damage here, too. And Kyrian Disc just... Yeah, like, let's see. I'll let you hear the comms.
Oh, wow, I gated like 8 seconds early, by the way.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
Okay,
I'm
Al-
sorry.
all right, Kevin,
That's
rally
good.
right now.
That was
Atlas,
good, that was
AMZ, everyone get in it.
Flip, how did you get punished?
Nick, do you have a ramp?
Yeah, I'm just gonna burn.
Okay.
Do we live?
Almost, no shot.
We're
You're
good.
not
Everybody,
gonna-
Hellstone, health pot.
Are we able to heal through this?
Yeah, we are.
Holy shit.
The fucking
We
dirt.
still have a lot more dots. Spread, Sang, Padre, you have to spread. You have to. Do you have Turtle, Padre? Sack, Padre, Kadimo.
Done.
It's not worth.
He's
He's
in
in
Afghanistan.
I don't know where he is.
How is he alive?
This is how you want to do this.
Just sack him. Yeah, I'll just.
This is the
I
Nori.
know.
This is, dude. This is.
Yeah, that's just like I don't know if you can
I
even
guarantee-
tell because like
How you want to do this?
when does he ramp? Let's see. So right now we're like minutes into this fight. We're 8 minutes into this fight, right? He ramps right now. He's at 4.3 million healing, doing 9k HPS, 9.6k HPS, and then by the end of his ramp, he jumps to still going like 11.5k. Like I know the numbers are smaller but proportional. In one ramp, 8 minutes into a fight, he just increased his HPS by like 2.5k. That's fucking insane. Thankfully, they're removing disc ramp. I mean, dude, what was interesting is back then, disc was the only class that could really do that. I mean, Ashen Hollow was like really big, but it wasn't as much of a ramp. It was like a 30-second you can't die thing. But like this expansion and last expansion, they were just every healer can ramp, so disc kind of lost its niche. But then now disc doesn't even really ramp anymore in the expansion, but neither does anyone else. But I mean, disc definitely still seems like it's pretty good. Prez looks insane again. I think it's really hard to tell. I don't think a lot of tuning has happened. I mean, isn't it like pretty fair to assume going into any raid tier that one spec of Evoker is going to be obscenely broken? That has happened, I feel like, almost every raid since Evoker has been added to the game. When was that not true? Like they were okay. Like I'm pretty sure there's one tier where all of them were mid. But was it because like last tier Prez was super crazy. Tier before that, actually last tier, the Gallywix tier, I feel like they weren't that crazy in progression. Like Dev ended up being absolutely insane, but that was after like they got buffed after. So like I'm just thinking world first progression. They were not that good. Like Dev was fine and Og was fine, but neither of them were broken. And Prez was kind of whatever. But then Ansurek tier, I think Prez Evoker might have been as good as a class has ever been. Like Flameshaper Evoker in season 1 was pretty illegal. Remember Vault released Prez Evoker? I'm pretty sure Prez Evoker in season 1 of this expansion was even better. It just had too much coverage. Like you literally like couldn't do the fights without them. You need like 2 of those things. You missed Spirit Shell, but I understand why it had to go. Yeah, it's too strong. Has there been any good WoW videos? Any nice think pieces? Let me check my Discord here in the Wii Steel. I'm sure they've got some good stuff. Wait. Harumarid has a top 10 worst game patches. Oh, yeah. People wanted me to watch the... Tettles dropped a couple. All right, what are the worst game patches in WoW's history? Let me think in recent memory. Does this count like the mini patches? Like, would you only consider major content patches? Like the only one, yeah, the WAD selfie patch was crazy. Although I do feel like this one was hated more than it should have been, because basically the only reason this thing was hated was it was called a 0.1 patch. If it was like a 0.0, 0.7, people would have never thought of it. But because normally 0.1 patches meant there's a new raid, people hated this patch because it didn't have a raid in it. But it was never intent, like that just wasn't the, it was just literally they just named it wrong. All of Shadowlands. Well, so Shadowlands is interesting because when you talk about what people hate the most about Shadowlands, they're like, I hated not being able to swap covenants. That was only true for the first season of that expansion. They fixed it in the middle of season 2. But if you ask people's favorite time in Shadowlands, they all reference the first patch. They reference Castle Nathria in season 1 of that expansion when everything was bad and everyone hated it, right? So it's like, is it the first patch? Also, does an expansion count, or is it literally patches? Because, like, if you want to talk about Korthia, isn't 9.1 the Korthia patch the one where they actually allowed you to switch covenants and they removed conduit energy? Isn't that, like, removing the bad things everyone was complaining about? So wouldn't that make it a good patch? The actual I mean, yeah, domination shards are really bad. That was also like peak Blizzard lawsuit bad times as well. So let's do that. So 9.1. I mean, how is he going to do 10 of these patches? I bet a bunch of them are going to be like old school shit that I can't relate to at all. 7.0, what is that? Oh, like for start of Legion? See, again, that is... I feel like that's so controversial, because if you talk to people about Legion, like a lot of like WoW tourists just played like the beginning of Legion and then quit and they loved it. So like it's also the only part of the expansion where you didn't have your best legendary, which really sucked. But I don't know. I feel like Legion owned so hard it usually made up for it, and it was new factor. And you have to keep in mind, people have more fun playing games when their friends are playing. And your friends are more likely to play at the beginning of the expansion than at any other point. So usually people are like, I love the beginning of the expansion because the game is popular, everyone's playing it, and like that makes the game more fun for me when everyone I know is playing it. So like that makes it hard to really judge beginning of expansions. That's like probably a Shadowlands thing, like why people talk about the beginning of Shadowlands. Maybe because of Castle Nathria though. Dude, I really can't think of a lot of like egregiously bad patches. Especially because like we're talking about... Alright, question. For the sake of this video, do you think expansions count as patches? Like all the .0s. No, I mean, yeah, see, even you guys are like a little conflicted, yeah. I don't think the Gen Pop cared as much about having Abyss Legendary during Legion, at least at first. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, definitely that kind of thinking influenced people in Shadowlands. I remember major lore YouTubers going into the expansion were like, I'm just going to play whatever one is best. And maybe that wouldn't have been the case 4 years before that. All right, all I got is these two. Let's see what he thinks. Let's steal some content.
The worst patches throughout the history of WoW, moving from those that were somewhat controversial within subsections of the community all the way down to catastrophic for the majority of players.
I mean, number one is just simply going to be the it's going to be the selfie patch. But I really think that's so funny because like the only reason it was disliked was because of what it was labeled as. If they would have just when they released
when they released Hellfire Citadel, if they would have just called it .1 and just called everything else another point or whatever, people wouldn't have talked about that as a patch. But
Up at number 10 is patch 1.12, Drums of War, which released August 22nd, 2006.
I have zero opinion about
this
this.
was the last major content patch implemented before WoW's first expansion, the Burning Crusade, Team 2 actually settled on using this version of the game as a foundation for building classic WoW, due to it representing the most stable state of vanilla WoW. The patch itself centered around PvP, introducing world PvP objectives like capturing towers and resources in Silithus and Eastern Plaguelands for buffs and rewards, as well as cross-realm functionality for the Altaric Valley, Warsong Gulch, and Arathi
Well, why is this a bad patch?
Basin Battlegrounds. Additionally, the patch included a significant revamp for rogue talents, as well as balance changes for druids, hunters, mages, paladins, priests, shamans, warlocks, and warriors, along with some further general bug fixes and quality of life improvements as well. Now, the reason this patch makes the list, however, is mostly due to the introduction of cross-realm battlegrounds, and the slippery slope effect that some players feel that this caused. By linking Altaric Valley, Warsong Gulch, and Arathi Basin across multiple servers, Blizzard intended to create a larger matchmaking pools and reduce queue times. This was a technical milestone at the time, but the change did also lead to some players feeling like this was a major shift in the social fabric of the game. Prior to the change, Battlegrounds were server-specific.
Yeah, like, I get people that feel that way. Like, I was talking about this with Dratnos recently, where like we were saying, like, dude, do you remember that time when like you cared about your realm ranking for your guild? Like, it mattered when like you woke up one day and some other guild on your server like killed a boss in the middle of the raid randomly, and now they were ahead of you, and like how like that close knit community within one server. And I'm like, yeah, like I miss that, and I do remember that feeling, but like things are just going to change though. Like I don't think any change Blizzard could have made would have been for the best decision for the game. Like, I think things make sense at a certain point, but in 2025, it would have never turned out that way. Gaming just changed, and it changed a long time ago, you know? Like, I don't think a lot of Blizzard's changes or the direction of their game killed server identity. And if it did, it was still a better decision because it bettered the game in so many other ways. Like, at a certain point, accessibility and being able to have stuff happen quickly is better than, like, having that. And I also think that's just something, as gaming evolved, was going to change. There's almost nothing that could have been done.
Meaning players would often fight against or alongside
like,
the
yeah,
same
times
names,
change, man.
building rivalries and friendships in the process. But with cross-realm queues, that sense of community was kind of lost. That said, there are many redeeming...
Yo, I'm potentially doing a sponsored stream soon with Mighty Teapot playing Guild Wars 2, by the way. Gonna be kind of hype. Sounds really fun.
For patch 1.12. This wasn't a buggy mess, content drought, or failed climax to an entire expansion. It's simply a polarizing moment in WoW's history for some of the player base, and that's why it only makes number 10 on this list. And at number 9, we have patch 7.
I think all of these, by the way, are going to be controversial for some of the player base. Like, there's been rarely any patches in the game where everyone universally was like, this stinks.
3.5, scaling. Legion's 4th medium patch, which released January 16th, 2018. The major feature of this patch was, as the name suggests, to introduce Legion's level scaling to every single other zone within Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdoms, Outland, Northrend, Pandaria, and Draenor.
So this was like not the Argus patch. This is the 0.5 of the Argus patch. Okay, so this is another thing where I'm assuming the complaint here is like, the way it's always been is you level 1 to 60... like the right way, but like at this point so many different experiences have been created that it kind of makes sense that someone could want to choose one of them to level. And like I think even people that dislike this and maybe disliked the outcome can at least understand the vision of why they would want to do something like that, unless it was like just really bad. I think, was it just implemented poorly?
As well as all of the corresponding dungeons. This meant that players could now quest in almost any zone or expansion they wanted, and in any order with mobs and rewards scaling to their level regardless, which was a welcome change as leveling alts had grown very stale for long-term players by the time Legion came out, because zones...
Isn't one of the takes for this that it's like, with everything always at the same level as you, you never feel... here's the feeling. Playing Elden Ring for the first time, and you take a right to go into that red zone, I forget the name of it now, or you accidentally take a portal all the way to the other side of the map instead of going left, and it's like right next to where you start.
but like, yeah, Kaled, right? And then you get this feeling of like, holy shit, this stuff's fucking crazy. Like, I'm not supposed to be here yet. When you have zones and mobs that have definitive levels and power to them, you feel that sense of progression more. And you also feel more powerful because it's like, oh, wait, I got a bunch of gear. Now I'm shitting on these mobs. But if it just keeps scaling, you never actually feel like you're getting stronger. Everything feels the same. That I've kind of understood. Just in, like, I think there's logic behind that.
Used to have a strict level range, which players had to follow in a predetermined order. In addition to scaling, though, the patch also added a new battleground, Seething Shore, which was tied to Azerite and teased upcoming story elements from Battle for Azeroth. Story quests around the aftermath of Sargeras stabbing his sword into Silithus were also added, setting up the next expansion.
Okay.
And finally,
Why is it
World War
bad?
time walking and some legendary item changes were also implemented as well. The reason this patch makes this list is because the scaling system was actually quite divisive though. While many praised the new freedom to quest their zones in whatever order you wanted, mobs now felt a bit bullet spongy. Leveling itself had slowed down dramatically, with the sense of progression now feeling extremely diminished, which was quite the whiplash considering we were coming out of Legion, the ultimate power fantasy expansion. This was also
So it really was like what you guys were saying. It was just it made leveling slower.
made worse due to a number of players experiencing
that makes sense.
sudden frame rate drops in UI.
Dude, every now and then I remember there are people who play this game, and this may be some people in this channel actually, that play this game to level. I think most people like who play WoW know of or have heard of someone like this near their like circle of friends where like they get home from work, they boot up a new character, they level that character with some shit on another monitor, and they like by the end of an expansion they have like 50 plus max level characters. And that's just like their content. They just love doing that. That I've always found to be fascinating.
bugs post-patch. And on top of that, the patch was
It's like they're like, no, it's not even speed running. Like they're just chill, bro. They're chilled the fuck out. Like it's very chill content. Although I would like to say, and I don't know how confidently I'd say this, I would like to say that there are some games out there that would blow those people's minds, and they just haven't like experienced them yet.
extremely light on
Like, there's just no way that standard of content is okay
so
with
there
them.
was barely anything.
Actually, bro, low key, I wish that was me. Low key, I wish that was me. I wish I could do something relatively low stimulation for a long period of time and entertain myself, because like that would make me want to actually explode. But if I could do that, and like the bar of what I needed to be entertained was so much lower, and like more games were fun for me, and I could be entertained easier, I was bored less, that would be fucking amazing. So I like low-key envy those people.
And at number 8, we have patch 7.1.5, class tuning. Legion's second medium patch, which released January.
Wait. So this was before Tomb of Sargeras, right? Was this right after Nighthold? In between Nighthold and Tomb of Sargeras? No, I don't think it was before Nighthold, was it?
Six 2017. This patch mainly involved the Fun Police, a complete overhaul to class balance with nearly every class and spec being affected by sweeping adjustments.
Huh?
Shadow Priests, for instance, found their Void form now only increased shadow damage by 20% instead of 30%. New micro-holidays were also added, such as Hatching of the Hippogriffs and Spring Balloon Festival, designed to add flavor.
Was this
without any
controversial?
major rewards. The patch also marked a return for the
7.2 is Broken Shore. This is Nighthold. Yeah, well, okay, but Nighthold was 7.1. This is 7.5.
Brawlers Guild with new solo boss fights and rewards.
Yeah, sorry,
such as
why is this bad?
Overwatch, Raid Tier, and the Brawler's Burly Basilisk Mount. And finally, it added Mista Pandaria time walking and a visual update to Blade's Edge Arena.
Yeah, I think it was right
the class
after.
changes of this patch were very unpopular, with many players logging in to suddenly find their class nerfed or reworked mid-expansion.
Dude, am I crazy for thinking that like this was just like the most normal class tuning ever? Like this doesn't stick out to me at all. I don't remember this at all. I don't remember like a controversial class tuning in
disrupting
Legion.
raid balance, PvP metas, and personal playstyles. For example, marksmanship hunters had their vulnerable mechanic completely reworked, which in essence gutted their smooth rotation and forced a much
Yeah, this is a
clunkier,
gotta fill 10
off-dependent
slots
one
angle.
instead. And Warlocks found themselves being funneled by Blizzard towards using Soul Effigy, despite the majority of them hating the ability. Ultimately, when combined with the fact that this patch was, again, fairly content light, it created the impression that Blizzard were tinkering for the sake of tinkering, rather than delivering actual
It's a 0.5 patch.
meaningful changes. And at number 7, we have patch 5.1 Landfall, the first major content patch for Mists of Pandaria, released on November 27th, 2012.
So this was after... This wasn't Throne of Thunder. That was the next patch. That was 5.2. So this was after Mogishan Vault's Heart of Fear and Terrace of Endless Spring. So this was like a... Oh, I mean, he's definitely mentioning patches that are just like don't involve major seasons. It's like maybe this is similar to the WoD selfie patch thing, where like basically people are mad because it's a 0.1 patch, but there's no raid with it.
With this patch came the beginning of the Pandaren campaign, introducing a daily quest hub for each faction in the Krasarang Wild Zone. Although with 2 new reputations, Operation Shieldwall for Alliance and the Dominance Offensive for Horde. As players gained reputation, they unlocked cutscenes and heavy lore quests featuring faction leaders like Varian Wren of the Alliance, Vol'jin of the Darkspear Trolls, and Garrosh Hellscream, War Chief of the Horde at the time. The patch also introduced the Brawlers Guild for the first time, a new solo PvE feature allowing players to fight unique bosses and an underground fight club. More scenarios were added, continuing the experimental story delivery system introduced in Mists of Pandaria. And finally, pet battles were updated with the new inclusion of pet stones as well. The reason
that's
patch
fucking
5.1
ridiculous.
makes this list is due to the
That's just
particularly
fucking ridiculous.
grindy nature of the new daily content. There were 4 different quest hubs: Bilgewater Beach, Domination Point, Lion's Landing, and Ruins of Ogudai. With only
I thought people loved Brawlers Guild when it was first introduced. Oh yeah, major W. Dude, Brawlers Guild owned so hard. Talk about adding a sense of community. You would just hang out in Brawlers Guild and just watch people pull these bosses with like your friends in Discord. It was extremely goated. I hope when it comes back that is also has that same effect.
Hub available, offering 5 daily quests for a grand total of
Discord? Oh yeah, we weren't in
900
Discord
rep
back
per
then.
day.
You would have been in TeamSpeak, Mumble, Vent, or... Bro, honestly, Vent was even ancient back in 2012.
The quests
Skype,
themselves were basically just different variations of kill, delivery, or gathering quests, so they got old pretty fast.
That's just all quests. You know what I mean? Like, quests capped out on how interesting they could be a long time ago.
Not to mention that
it's
MoP
just,
was
it's
already
just what it is.
overloaded with daily grinds for factions, such as Golden Lotus, Calaxy, and the August Celestials. So adding...
Do you guys miss daily hubs? Like, these two things compete with each other. Daily hubs exist on one end, and world quests exist on the other. World quests are just dailies, but the new version. I know some people are like nostalgic for it, but I wonder if it's even like, it's nice to know you just have these dailies, you do them, and then they're done.
Even more grinds made 5.1 feel like Blizzard were doubling down on that approach. Many players just straight up burnt out very quickly, feeling like they were being forced to log in every single day to avoid falling behind.
Oh, but by the way, since I've really last streamed a lot, I found that apparently lurkers don't get counted as viewers or something unless they type, and then when they do that, your viewer count comes up. So I have 2,900 viewers right now. I want to test if this is fake news. If you're a lurker, I know this goes against the fiber of your being, but just throw like one little fucking number or letter in chat. Real quick. Just real quick. Just a quick slam, never think about it again, hide the chat. I want to see if that's real.
On top of that, the new story quests were reputation gated, causing frustration for those who were enjoying the story, but didn't particularly want to do chores every day just to experience it. And next up at number 6, we have patch 2.2, aka Voice Chat. Released September 25th, 2007 as part of the Burning Crusade expansion, a new built-in voice chat feature became available in-game for the first time, allowing players to join voice channels and groups and raids directly through the WoW client.
It was
also an
gigabyte.
improved chat interface, giving
Well,
players
my
better
viewers
channel
haven't
controls,
updated yet.
Mac movie capture integration.
Wait,
letting
it went up from 2910 to 2953. Maybe it works. Who knows?
Mac
Unclear.
users record in-game footage natively.
I think it's fake news because I'm just gonna make a number up.
I'm pretty sure 85 to 90% of your chat at any given point is a lurker. There's someone who's basically never going to type. You can tell this with polls. If you're ever doing a poll in chat, you get like at least 10% of the representation of your audience is going to bother typing in a poll, right? Or maybe even less. And I think that usually adds up. Also, I just like judge it by my own thing. Like, bro, I'm a lurker. If I'm watching any stream ever, there's like no chance I'm typing. So like, I would assume most people are like me, you know. So that not to say there's anything bad with that, of course, but like that's just not how I like to enjoy the content. So, if that was true, I'm pretty sure. Wait a second, my viewers did go up to 3,500. Okay. There's something going on. The likelihood that we jumped 500 viewers. Okay, well that's fucking annoying because now I feel like now I'm a conspiracy theorist. Now if lurkers don't type often, then oh, now back to 2,500. What's happening? What is happening, bro? What is fucking going on right now? I don't know how this works. Max, close your view bot, your chat bot. I don't even know what just happened, bro. How to go up and then down. Any view bots in chat? Type make yourself known. If anyone here's a bot. I heard view botting was like kind of an issue, that there was at least like my Twitter feed doesn't usually involve like gaming and streaming stuff, but I did see like a bunch of people trying to out other people for botting, and I don't remember that being a thing for a while. But I imagine that's what some people, I mean, it makes sense. Like there's a streamer is incentivized to bot their viewership, right? Like especially when you're getting started. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to click on this stream. If it has 10 viewers versus 500, someone might be like, oh, well, maybe there's something to this guy. And then you have 500 fake viewers, but after a month, maybe you gain 100 real ones, and you wouldn't have had that unless you'd view bots. So, like, there's a reason for people to do it. Plus, also, like, I think people's egos, like, Twitch isn't just gaming anymore. There's a lot of, like, personality, like, it's become a very different culture in Twitch, and like I feel like a lot of that is popularity. Like it's like high school, right? Like your view count is how popular you are, and like the popular kids just want to hang out with other popular kids, and if you want to be a part of that crowd, you got to have crazy viewers, right? So, it makes sense that people would do it. I mean, not just that, but people get unintentionally view botted, at least popular streamers. What's the logic behind that? Why does that happen? This is a huge tangent from this video we're watching, but why would someone view bot someone against their will? Giga fans? Parasocial relationships? Or wait, couldn't it be the other way too? Couldn't it be some hater shit? Like you basically view bot someone out of hate just so they appear to be a view botter, but they weren't even doing it themselves? That's hating at a really high level, actually. It's also to get them banned and caught as cheaters. Yeah, so I guess it's like, how do you even... Yeah, it's so fucked. I'm glad I've never dealt with that.
And a number of class, profession, and item tweaks as well. However, the in-game voice chat is renowned for being absolutely terrible. Not only was it low quality, but
Dude, that's why... I've said this before, but like... I like how I'm barely someone that someone would know, and I'm not any more popular than that. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you get a little bit more popular, if you say something weird, everyone just gets super mad, and it's like on Reddit. No one cares about me enough for that to happen to me, and that's amazing. When people recognize me out randomly, I was at a dinner with my girlfriend and her family, and I noticed some waiter was giving me the look, like, oh, that guy knows who I am. And then at the end of the dinner, he came by and he said, "Grats on Demencius." And I was like, thanks, bro. That was really cool. It was a really good interaction. Shout out if that guy's here. And then, like, that barely ever happens, and it's only cool. But imagine if you're, like, really well-known, and it happens all the time, and it's a problem for you. That doesn't happen to me. I feel like I have an extremely ideal niche level of, like, internet following. I don't deal with any of the negatives of it.
Lacked a lot of core features that third-party tools like Vent and TeamSpeak already offered. tools which the majority of WoW players were already widely using anyway. So ultimately, most guilds just completely ignored the new feature entirely. Players had expected something more substantial, with new dungeons, new raids, and new story progression. But what
Well,
they
also,
got,
you're not parasocial at all. You treat us like actual viewers. What do you mean by that? Do you think a lot of the streamers that have parasocial followings encourage that in some way, either knowingly or not knowingly? Like, how would I encourage you all to be parasocial? Would it be like, you sub to my channel, I'm like, yo, bro, thanks for the sub? Is it like thanking subs? Is it like I hopefully don't cast an illusion on you that like we're friends and I know you and you know me. But I don't think a lot of streamers that have parasocial followings do that. Either, at least intentionally. You're not my friend? I mean, I know what to expect from my chat. And usually over time, like, your chat kind of becomes... Because Twitch isn't YouTube. YouTube's, like, all about content. If you're going to sit here and watch a Twitch stream, you're here for all the things that would have gotten edited out. Which means you, at least in some way, either like my personality. And if that's the case... I would probably like yours, and if we were to ever like talk, it would be, most of you would be like a pretty normal situation, right? So I think that's usually how that kind of stuff starts, is that if some streamers do that more, naturally the people in the chat are like, dude, I bet if we did know each other, we would be friends. But then 99 out of 100 people are like, but that's literally not reality. And then it takes 1 out of 100 to do some crazy shit. And the more popular you are, the more 1% you get, you know? I like to make it parasocial with viewers sometimes. I remember one time I made somebody a mod, and then I just kept telling them that I loved them. And I was just kind of see what happened with that. It wasn't like real on the nose. Like, it's just like every couple weeks or something, I was just like, yo, love you, man. And then I just like kept going with my day just to see if something would happen. And they just, I don't know, they just never really did anything.
that was a useless feature that no one asked for. And coming after the massive 2.1 Black Temple patch, this felt like a massive letdown. And next, at number 5...
Max, you gave a random guy your address when you lived in Texas. Yeah, I know. That was fine. Nothing happened.
Patch 4.1.
Look, I'm cool. If you guys come up to me or whatever, you can do all that. Just don't kill me. That's the only thing that's not allowed. Don't ever fucking murder me. But
and Rise of the Zandalari.
just be normal.
The first major content patch for Cataclysm, released on April 26, 2011. Zul'Gurub and
Can we
Zul'Aman
kidnap you
were
then?
revamped
No,
and
just don't do any of that
reintroduced
shit.
as
Just
level
do normal
85 5-man dungeons
stuff,
with updates
yeah?
to mechanics, loot, and achievements.
Way to ruin the fun.
As well
What?
as this, we got the Dungeon Finder facility, which streamlined queuing for random dungeons. Guilds got new weekly challenge tasks and dungeons, raids, and raided battlegrounds, which groups could tackle for additional guild experience, achievements, and gold. And on top of all that, class changes like Death Knight's Raise Ally ability being revamped into a proper...
Okay, this is super random. Was watching Christmas movies last night. Does anyone remember, if you've ever seen The Polar Express, if you've ever rewatched it, is it just me or is the animation in that movie unwatchably dog shit? It's crazy bad, bro. Like, it almost, is it intentional? It's very unique. Yeah, that's a way to say it.
Battle res, as well as general UI
Watched Elf.
bug
Watched
fixes.
Elf last
The
night.
reason
That
4.1
movie
makes
still
this
hits.
list is mainly due to the headline
still hits for
feature
sure.
of Zul'Aman and Zul'Gurub being recycled. Most of the community felt kinda cheated, especially since Cataclysm had already been criticized for lacking any fresh or innovative endgame content anyway. Unlike most major patches, 4.1 did not even include a raid tier, which left raiders with nothing to do until patch 4.2 in June of 2011. So this patch very much felt like filler to a large chunk of the player base, and reinforced the opinion that Cataclysm's overall content was pretty thin. And at number 4, we have patch 9.1, Chains of Domination.
Here we go.
The first...
See, now this is, again, I really feel like this patch's main... There are some obvious issues here. Sanctum wasn't an extremely well-liked raid. Although I do think it was mainly a Sylvanas on lower difficulties being kind of a slow boss. But because I think a lot of the other bosses in here were actually pretty good. Like on Mythic, like the first 6 bosses are like chef's kiss. Like it maybe the best like first 6 bosses in like any raid ever. As far as like average quality, super good. And then it just falls off a cliff, right? Korthia wasn't great, but like this patch also fixed something. This patch fixed, and this is actually not technically true. This was 9.1.5, I think. But they like went back on they pulled the ripcord. They made you able to swap covenants. I believe 9.1 also removed conduit energy, I think. So like there was a lot of good, they removed a lot of the big pain points here as well. But I think it kind of just confirms the theory of like you play this game when your friends are playing it, and you're gonna love patches where people you know are playing this game a lot more than when you're playing it alone. And everyone was playing at the beginning, and like everyone dropped off here, whether that was due to the lawsuits, the Final Fantasy shit, the domination shards, the raid, whatever. Like the reality is, it just people stopped playing it, and maybe that also makes it bad.
Content patch of Shadowlands, released June 29th, 2021.
Was also
this
very
patch
long,
introduced quite a lot of new things. Korthia, City of Secrets, a new zone of daily quests, rares, and collectibles leading into the new 10-boss raid, Sanctum of Domination. A raid featuring battles and story beats involving major lore characters such as Garrosh Hellscream, the Remnant of Ner'zhul, Kel'Thuzad, and a fight against Sylvanas Windrunner herself.
Kel'Thuzad
This
was
patch also introduced a new mega
such a
dungeon,
weird fight.
Tazavesh, the Veiled Market. An 8-boss instance with a unique broker theme, which continued to be...
Tazavesh has definite... Wait, so Tazavesh was the 0.5 of this. This was not in 9.1. Right? This is 9.1.5? That's when they were doing all of the mega dungeons. They did them, like, halfway through the patch, and then it, like, became a thing in the next patch. Right? I don't think Tazavesh was in 9.1. So, I believe I'm right about that. And if that's the case, then are we actually talking about all of the small... Are we talking about 9.1.5 as well? Because if that's the case, I think it's really hard to label this that...
important in the War Within expansion. 9.1 also added flying to the 4 Covenant zones in Shadowlands, making leveling for alt and
I mean, that
general
was goated.
exploration easier, and
Although
finally
kind of hard to say, like, allowing you to fly is, like, a crazy good feature when it's just something they removed.
continued
for no
the
reason.
overall Covenant campaign storylines as well. Besides
You think it was
from
on
the
launch, you could get
obvious points
trinkets?
that
Oh,
Shadowlands
shit.
was
Okay.
not well received as an expansion overall, and that Blizzard faced a huge scandal regarding their workplace culture shortly after this patch
Yeah,
release.
that was tough.
9.1 also
Some of the stories that came out of that were pretty
arrived
fucking
after
brutal.
a 7-month gap from Shadowlands' launch, which was one of the longest waits in WoW's history.
It took 7 months for this patch to release. Well, that's... Okay, so that's actually... So that's really long compared to now. That's really long compared to now, but I don't think that's really long in comparison to, like, most patch sequences for, like, previous expansions, I don't think. Also, it's like the COVID thing. Like, you can say COVID happened and it, like, delayed a lot of stuff in the gaming industry. Like, I know other MMOs, like Final Fantasy, like, turbo delayed one of their expansions around this time and cited COVID as the reason, which is, like, the other, like, really popular major MMO. But then, like, other gaming companies thrived with work from home stuff, so, like, not quite sure how to deal with that.
Expectations were understandably high, with the patch itself pretty much guaranteed to underdeliver after such a long wait. And underdeliver it did, with an uninspired and repetitive grind at Korthia, where progression was tied to heavy time gating and reputation farming that felt more like busy work than meaningful gameplay. And calling the raid story beats divisive would be an understatement, with many players feeling Sylvanas' sudden redemption arc was unearned, as well as unfortunately and irritatingly predictable. This patch, for many, symbolizes a bit of a breaking point in WoW history, with Blizzard themselves acknowledging that many things needed to change going forward.
Oh, so, like, on some story shit.
And
yeah.
at number 3, we have patch 4.3, Hour of Twilight. The
Wait, Dragon Soul patch? One of the most hated patches? I mean... I also think Dragon Soul is a really underrated raid. Like, Spine wasn't amazing, but I thought... And Madness was kind of okay, but, like, the rest of the raid, 1 through 6, again, very similar to Sanctum. Very good. Also, the dungeons they added in this were pretty cool, at least at the time. I remember doing them all the time when they come out. Well, let's hear the
largest
take.
and final content patch released during Cataclysm.
They added LFR? Bro, I have yet to hear a anti-LFR take that has actually made sense to me. I've heard plenty of, like, there are too many difficulties in this game. LFR is a bad thing, and I've never heard one. Now this patch is kind of interesting because they allowed tier sets to be gotten in LFR, and then multiple guilds exploited it, and, like, all the top guilds were banned. Like, all of the top guilds got... except, I think Blood Legion maybe didn't get banned, and the guild that won didn't get banned. But, like, everyone got banned because they were, like, exploiting LFR.
On November 29th, 2011. This patch contained the 8-boss raid Dragon Soul, culminating in a sort of battle against Deathwing, as well as 3 new 5-man dungeons: End Time, Well of Eternity, and the Hour of Twilight. Alongside these additions,
Wait, what was the exploit? So I wasn't in like a super top guild back then. That was actually the first tier I ever took seriously. I was in like a US 21st guild or something. But I believe what it was, you know how like when you go in now and people are saved? Like, for example, if you went into a 30-man normal and you had everyone was unsaved, you'd get 6 pieces of gear. I think it was something like you could bring in saved people and then unsaved people could loot things and then trade to them. You could like master loot to people who were locked. It was something like that, but it was like clearly unintended. Someone in chat said, zoned in with a full group on LFR, killed the boss, don't loot, and then walk out and walk back in on normal. Oh. I didn't even know it was that big, but yeah.
also got the LFR tool, allowing players to queue for raids in the same
If you
way
all
as the
passed, the
Dungeon
people who were
Finder
locked
system.
could loot the gear off the boss.
Transmog was also introduced, fundamentally changing the game in a lot of ways, as well as void storage. Rogues got their Fangs of the Father legendary daggers, Golad, Twilight of the Aspects, and Tyriosh, Nightmare of Ages. And the Darkmoon Fair was completely revamped and moved to Darkmoon Island, with new minigames, rewards, and achievements to boot. The final raid of Cataclysm was anticipated to be epic, but what players actually received was a repetitive and frustrating Spine of Deathwing fight, followed by an anticlimactic madness of Deathwing
both of those
ending.
things are
A lot
true.
of the raid also reused
Maybe I'm just like, maybe for a lot of people it's just like the end boss is the only thing that matters, and like Deathwing is this huge like antagonist and it has to be this super epic ending or whatever. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I just like, I'm such a connoisseur of raid fights that like I love a good like really well designed good difficulty curve like 3rd, 4th, 5th boss. Like I find that really impressive. Even when I first started playing, I'd be like, yo, this boss was fucking great. I loved it. And I think for a lot of people, they just simply don't care about that. So that is why a lot of like raids that I say I thought were good, people will just be like, yo, that sucked, and it's because of this. And it's like, yeah, well, what about this other stuff? And they're like, I don't care. I think that kind of makes sense.
in environments such as Dragonblight and Wormrest Temple, instead of creating new exciting settings. And
I watched the top
alongside
50
that,
guild
we have
bash
the
against Spine.
entire
Spine's biggest issue was it put too much difficulty on one singular player. The player that was kiting all of the orbs was doing something just 10 times harder and way more impactful. Like if you made a single mistake, you just wiped. That was rarely do fights actually do that.
Which still goes on to this day. Before LFR, only a small fraction of players ever saw raid bosses, so this system certainly did improve
Deathwing would be epic if they
accessibility.
remade it. Dude, so true, actually. Like, look at Dimensius, right? Like, just the craziest visuals. And then look at something like Spine. Like, obviously this was, fucking almost 15 years ago, but like, yeah, like if they remade Deathwing now with a boss of that scale, they would have made it look fucking wild.
But many raiders felt that it cheapened the raiding experience overall, devaluing their accomplishments. The very forgiving difficulty also potentially encouraged sloppy gameplay, since most mechanics could basically just be ignored completely. Whilst traditional raiding required close-knit guilds and teamwork, LFR also kind of fostered the
This was also, I think, something very significant about Dragon Soul was this made poaching normal. Like, it was very normal in this tier to be able to do Spine of Deathwing that some random guild would recruit some guild from 10 ranks below them, and they would recruit their mage that got the caster legendary in Firelands, and they would recruit their rogue that got the daggers. So it was like a betrayal patch. Like, you had people... Basically, if you got those legendaries, you were the chosen person in the guild. They could choose one person to give this legendary. And then they were leaving in droves to join better guilds and using that as an opportunity to jump guilds. So, I mean, like, that's just, like, fucking controversial as fuck. I mean, that's just humans are doing human things, right? But, I mean, that's, like, really polarizing.
more impersonal behavior that has become a little bit synonymous with WoW over time, leading to things like AFKing and toxic behavior due to being mostly anonymous and cross-realm. Early LFR also used a group loot system, which led to rampant ninja looting as well. All in all, patch 4.3's LFR system has created tensions between casual and hardcore players ever since.
Not fucking hasn't, bro. Like, any hardcore player shitting on LFR is a clown, bro. It's just that simple. It's
one of the few examples of just purely elitist bullshit. They just don't even understand it, and they're like, I don't interact with this thing, and it should be gone, and it's bad for the game, and they're just actually just saying random shit.
And
there's no controversy.
2, we have patch 8.3, Visions of N'Zoth. This was the third...
Huh? Okay, I can kind of see where they're going with this. Like, when it came out, the corruption stuff was super polarizing. But this is also... 8.3 is also just... I mean, maybe this is a high-level player take, but, like, this is an all-time great WoW patch. Like, this was, I mean, probably the most fun Mythic Plus ever was. Visions were awesome. The corruption vendor rotation thing caused a lot of stuff. There was, like, that Rich Campbell clip. They didn't handle that great, but... Bro, I mean, this patch, this is an all-time great patch. The best or one of the best seasonals ever.
And final content patch for Battle for Azeroth, released on January 14th, 2020. Including the
and
new
the outside
12-boss raid
content was
in
sick too,
Iolotha,
yeah.
The Waking City, the original 1 to 5 player horrific vision scenarios and corrupted versions of Stormwind and Orgrimmar, as well as rotating void invasions.
Yeah, that was a good thing.
The Vale of Eternal Blossoms.
Okay, all
a
good.
legendary upgradable cloak, Astra Kamas, which was
whatever.
mandatory to both story and raid progression. The corrupted gear system, which replaced Titan Forging with randomly rolled corruption effects on gear. For example, effects like Expedient, which increase the amount of haste you gain from all sources by either 6, 9, or 12%. We also got Volpera and Mechanome allied races, and last but not least, a major redesign of the auction house interface and functionality.
Oh, that was this patch? The auction house redesign?
The reason patch 8.3 makes number 2 on this
I
list
thought that was
is
later.
mostly down to the corrupted gear system, which is considered to be one of Blizzard's worst gearing experiments.
I don't know about that. I think corruption was fucking insane, bro. I mean, I do know this. Like, people thought this. Like, you've heard a lot of takes like BFA is the worst expansion ever, and people like really meant that shit at the end of 8.3. But this expansion has aged like fine wine. But I understand why corruption was peak. It's the Legion thing all over again, right? Like, if you could just play with your best corruption, you would have had a lot of fun. But it was like hard to obtain for some people. But at the same time, if everyone just was instantly given their best corruption, it wouldn't mean as much to you when you get it, right? It's the whole... I mean, I spoke with Ian about that, like about how the balance between giving you the really cool thing that you want and also making it hard to obtain, that perfect thing of like... Because like if you just get everything, nothing matters to you. But also if you can't access the thing you want, it sucks, right? So like there's a middle ground there that they really played around with in Legion and BFA with corruption and with Legion legendaries, and like... I don't even know how you would do it again if it came back, because like it would be just a totally different thing if you did the other thing. So I don't know. I understand why some people felt this way, but corruption fucking.
In a
Alex,
nutshell,
man.
each piece of gear had a random chance to have a randomly generated corruption effect on it. Although you could visit Mother in the Chamber of Heart to purchase specific effects, those were on a rotating basis. Wearing corrupted items would raise the level of your base corruption, with the net total leading to harmful side effects, such as grasping tendrils at 1 corruption.
Dude, being able to like choose whether you dealt with more and more of these things, oh fucking,
all
just
the
a
way to
goated
inescapable
system.
consequences at corruption 200. In order to offset the net total of corruption, you needed to equip and upgrade your Astra Kamas Shroud of Resolve, which involved tedious grinds inside horrific visions. Grinds that had the potential to be extreme.
Yeah, maybe that's another thing. I personally thought horrific visions were one of the like coolest things they've ever added to this game, and clearly for some people that was just a chore that sucked. But I thought like skill expression wise, it was just one of the coolest things ever.
Extremely punishing due to the fact that you could fail a run, and you needed vessels of horrific visions to even enter them in the first place. The corruption system also led to massive power imbalances due to the frustrating RNG nature, with many players focusing on chasing very specific corruption effects. And the patch itself launched with numerous bugs and lag, only adding to players' frustration further. On top of all of that, the ending of the new raid was extremely lackluster, with the cinematic after N'Zoth's defeat being considered to be one of the
I thought the end of the raid was sick. We won.
worst at that point in time, due to how abruptly it came to a halt and how
First time we won,
unsatisfying
too.
it left players feeling. Excitement
What
around
a
Face
time
of
to be
N'Zoth
alive.
was incredibly high due to it being the only old god left as far as current lore at the time had led us to believe, so players certainly felt underwhelmed by the raid's climax. However, at least this patch did deliver a lot of different features, even if they were poorly designed or poorly received ones.
But literally none of this is talking about the actual gameplay. But I mean, I guess that makes sense.
which is more than can be said for the #1 spot. And
This is number 2.
that brings us
We
to
called it.
#1.
We called
the
it.
patch 6.1 Garrison Update. The first major patch of Warlords of Draenor released on February 14th, 2015.
Yeah, with nothing in it.
Introducing fantastic features such as Twitter integration and the selfie camera, as well as updates to the garrison.
Can you
and
still tweet inside WoW, or did they
Heirloom
remove
Collection
that?
tab, some graphical improvements to the Blood Elf model, along with anti-aliasing and lighting effects. Small profession tweaks, you get the picture. Now, the reason 6.1 is definitely the worst patch in World of Warcraft's history is because it very nearly killed the game entirely.
No, it
One of the
didn't.
few occasions where the community actually widely agreed this patch added absolutely nothing of value. No raid, no dungeon, no zone, no content. Sure, the selfie camera has its niche uses, but ultimately it became a bit of a running joke, considered a prime example of how Blizzard can sometimes completely lose touch with their own players. Warlords of Draenor already had the reputation of being one of the thinnest expansions in terms of content, and this only solidified the criticism, creating a general feeling that players had been straight up overcharged for the expansion. Not to mention that the Twitter integration was also kind of borked and didn't really work at launch anyway, proving to be yet another misstep with this patch. The game desperately needed a win during WoD, so this patch could not have come at a worse time, and that's why it's placed firmly at #1.
Yeah. Holy W. Oh, there's nothing to love in garrisons except maybe the table, if that's your thing. I mean, people just liked the garrisons because you could make a ton of gold. You know? That's all there is. Like, people were like, I feel like I had more gold because I just did my little garrison table. It was pretty broken for gold. Like, you made crazy gold. Stop spamming overworking, bro. That makes me want to end. You know? You know what, now that you're saying that, maybe I fucking will. You know? Maybe I will. God damn it. I am going to be streaming more, though. I haven't streamed a lot in the testing cycle because it's like... Okay, like last week we had meetings at raid time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we had raid testing Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday we had normal. So it's just been... but yeah, me and Frank have been cooking up some content. I feel like we haven't made a lot of YouTube content recently, which means we'll have some pretty fun streams coming up. So, plan for that. Planning to go at least like 3-4 days a week, which is way more than we have been leading up to the expansion. Although I am going to see my family at the end of December. All right. I will catch you guys later. Are we going to be getting an in-person Race World first or in-home? Now that they announced the raid schedule, it's going to be just a normal-ass race. We basically freaked out for no reason, W. All right. See you later. Overworking.